And you're live.
Great. Hello and welcome to the Tattoo Collecting Podcast.
Welcome, welcome. Live from the mothership today.
Yep, live from the mothership, last day recording off an iPad.
We've got so much technology that we're going to figure out over the next week. We can't wait to share it.
We were going to set up today and have multiple different camera setups. We got a really nice camera setup to get multiple angles, switch through video.
But my rage almost made me have a meltdown.
The microphones, we're going to work through everything as well. And so it's just going to be a whole new thing this time. And yeah, right before we started, we had some technical difficulties. So next one.
We're on the iPad one more time.
Yeah, iPad.
So today we have, after all of our technical rage outs this morning, we have one of my favorite collectors with us. I haven't seen him in over a year, which is sad, but we have Jay Grimmy. He's got an amazing bio collection. Who's doing your work, Jay?
Ty McEwen.
Oh, that guy. Just Ty.
Yeah.
Just little old Ty.
Awesome, man. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you, man.
So, thank you for joining us today. I've been looking forward to talking to you all week, and then,
No
life
problem. Yeah, I got scared that the Zoom wasn't going to work because I was having trouble with it earlier, but
we always get the Zoom link to work at the last minute, even if our cameras aren't talking to each other. The Zoom always comes through, and once we're connected, Sandy does a good job keeping us together, I think.
Yeah.
So what's up, man? How have you been? How's life in the non tattoo convention era?
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of boring, but I did go back to school in August to be a dental assistant, and I graduated and passed my boards and everything, and I'm about to start an apprenticeship position as a dental assistant in an office nearby.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome for you.
Thanks, man.
Hey, I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out of factories and warehouses and everything. That's all I've really ever done.
Last time I saw you, I felt like you were less than, what's the word? Satisfied? Less than satisfied with your work life?
Yeah, probably. Sounds like me.
So I'm excited for you. That's awesome. So you got any sessions?
Thank you. No, not yet. I've only been working part-time since August, so I'm kind of broke right now. Just don't have the extra funds for tattoos, But I'm hoping to get my stomachs worked on maybe around tax time.
Nice. Is your back totally finished?
Yeah, my back's finished.
Nice. It's so sick, man. How many sessions have you put in on that?
I think 5.
5? Not bad.
They were shorter sessions. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to getting my torso tattooed. I can sit all day on my arm, but when it's my front and back, I just can't do it anymore.
Dude, the back sucks.
The torso is different.
Intense. It's intense.
Yeah, I think we only average on my back 5.5 hour sessions or something. There's around 30 hours total in it, but
yeah.
You don't use any Prenum or anything also, right?
No, he uses Bactine or Bactine Max. We've tried before numbing cream, but I don't really feel like it works that well.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like it works that well either, so we just use Bactine.
Yeah, Bactine's the lifesaver. I feel like if it wasn't for Bactine, I don't think I could have gotten through my kidney areas.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those areas just get so brutal, and Ty saturates. Even though he works in layers, he saturates really efficiently, and he's gonna whatever color he's saturating, he's gonna saturate it in that session, and then the next color will come next time. But there's just something magic about how brutal it is at first, and then once they wipe down with the Bactine and they come back in, it's it still hurts, but you can catch your breath until you get to the next.
Oh man,
for sure.
And my back is just such a lifesaver. I honestly definitely can't imagine how people do it without it. I've done it. I've definitely tattooed a lot of people's back and not used Bactine. And now I mean, I always use it. It's just like my water now.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how people do like multi-day sessions because I've only ever done like single day sessions, but like
It's a-
after the end of day one, like I'm done. Like I'm not ready for a day two.
Don't be afraid to do 2-day sessions if the opportunity presents itself. It's funny because like day 2, you're almost starting the day already exhausted and tired. So like your body doesn't have that flinch to it. It doesn't have that like jerk. It just like it hurts. You're still like being punished, but it's like your body doesn't fight it as much. It's easier to surrender to it. So I feel like the second day, I've always gotten more done than the first day. So I feel like the second day is then easier for the artist working on me because I'm already like half a corpse when we start.
Yeah. Makes
But, like,
sense.
the other cool thing is if you do 2 days back to back, you only have one heel. So that's the thing that I think about
Yeah.
is like days I'm going to be uncomfortable. So
yeah.
don't be afraid of 2 days.
Yeah.
You could do it.
I bet. I mean, maybe on my leg, but not on like my front or anything. I don't think I'm that crazy.
What's your belly like? I don't have anything on. I've got like a couple little tattoos down by my hips, but I don't have anything on my belly compared to the.
I always kind of like forget how bad it really is, like after the tattoo's done, but it's not as bad as the chest, I don't think. Like the chest is pretty brutal,
Good.
but like this, I feel like it's bad, but not as bad.
Good.
Yeah.
That I'm kind of nervous about starting my belly. I was supposed to get my belly started by Mike Cole several months ago. We were going to get it started at the St. Louis Tattoo the St. Louis convention.
Yeah.
And then I would have traveled out to him for all the follow-up appointments. But so instead, here's what I'm doing this year since I'm not getting tattooed. Jay, you're going to appreciate this. I'm getting my grill redone. So
Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do veneers on the front. I when I was a kid, so now I'm fixing all that damage that I've just been like putting off and putting off. So.
Nice. You'll probably feel a lot better once you do.
You know, when I was younger, my teeth, I was self-conscious about my teeth not being straight, and then like the more I injured them and the more weird they got, it was just like, well, God didn't want me to have. I don't know what to tell you.
Fortunately, I've never really had problems with my teeth. My mom had me in braces when I was pretty young because I started developing a pretty bad overbite. So like my teeth have always been pretty straight. So I guess I'm lucky, but
yeah, you do have nice teeth now.
Thank you.
When you said you were doing dental, I thought that was going to be perfect for you.
Yeah, someone at work the other day, I guess, asked one of my friends if my teeth were real, and I was like, "Do they look fake?"
I mean, that could be a really nice compliment, depending on it. But yeah, that's my body modification for this year. I might sneak in a few tattoo, like smaller tattoo sessions here and there, and get some stuff, for added to. But yeah.
Are they tattooing out in California right now? Because that's where Mike Cole is, right?
I don't believe they are right now. Are they?
I have no idea.
I can't keep up on when they're allowed to and when they're not.
Yeah.
I don't think in California you can. I think they're like locked down as fuck still.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, not as fuck. I don't know if it's like as bad as it was when it first started, but I know it's more than most places. You're cutting out a little bit, man.
We'll give him a minute to catch up with us. We gotta pause, Jordan.
Got a total pause. Technical difficulties, guys.
Well, while Jay's frozen, hopefully we'll get him back. I'm sure we will.
You been collecting some art lately?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on 2 pieces to come in the mail, but they're coming internationally, so it might take a minute.
Yeah, and holidays probably just made everything really bad.
I got 2 more creepy deer from Tom Strong, so I've got like 4 creepy deer that I'm gonna go get framed.
Are they more smaller prints?
They're originals.
Well, I mean, or not prints. Sorry,
Paintings.
Originals.
Yeah, they're like around about the size of the notebook paper. But I'm really excited about them. I love them. All the creepy little deer that are starting to fill my workstation.
I can't wait to see you, right? Yeah,
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Well,
back.
I don't Yeah, my internet's not the greatest. I'm trying to figure out how to do a hotspot on my phone, but I've never done it before, so
Okay, we'll be patient with it. I was
okay.
while you stepped away for a moment, I was talking about a couple prints that I'm waiting to come in the mail from Tom Strom. I got a couple months ago, and I'm waiting for 2 more to come. So I got a whole series of original Tom Strom creepy, like decaying deer to hang up in my tattoo room.
She's addicted to buying them.
He keeps painting these creepy little deer. Like, if that's not with somebody's soul,
Creepy little fawns.
it's perfect. If I could have him tattoo one of those on me, I totally would. But I feel like I'm not going to be able to go to the UK anytime soon. But when I can,
Yeah, I feel like international travel's probably halted for a while.
maybe I could pass for Canadian. Do the Canadians travel?
Where is he?
He's in the UK.
UK. Oh yeah,
I think Edinburgh.
UK's. Yeah, I think UK's like in there another like weird lockdown. But there are a lot of places that you can travel to right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, internationally.
Like Bora Bora?
I don't think.
Can we go to Bora Bora?
I haven't checked that one. But we can go to Costa Rica. That's a place.
That's
we can
close enough. That's a
Nice.
paradise.
I've never been outside of the US.
I haven't either.
I've only been to Canada.
Yeah, I definitely want to go some places like when everything calms down, but
Where are you from? Where are you right now?
I'm in Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a Midwesterner.
Midwestern.
Midwesterner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, man. So let's jump into actual talking about your collection a little bit. So we mentioned earlier that Ty is doing your work.
Yeah.
What is it about Ty that made you want to get a sleeve by him and then want to keep doing more?
Okay, so back in like 2016, I just came into some extra money. I think it was like tax time or something, and I was like, I want to get a really cool like bio sleeve started, and I started researching all the artists, and I noticed that Ty usually would take his clients out on hikes too in Arizona. So like I thought that was really cool. So I was like, I could turn this into a whole mini vacation. So like besides like really enjoying like looking at his work and everything, I just wanted to like go hiking too. So I went out there, got the first layer started, and like loved it, and just like obviously finished it. And whenever it like came out and it was like all done, I was like this is the sickest shit I've ever seen. Like I need to go back now for like another piece. So I remember I like texted his assistant and was like, oh, can he like do cover-ups? Would he cover up this big shitty bird on my ribs? And she's yeah, like he would probably be into that. So that's when I started going to conventions. I went to Hell City and got my ribs blasted for my first convention. So that was really scary.
No, I didn't realize. I thought you were like hitting conventions all the time before that. Well, I got to be there for his first.
No, that was my first show.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I've only ever been to Hell City really. I think I went to the Fort Wayne convention once.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just out of like all the bio artists, Ty's just kind of always been my favorite, I think.
Man, I've always loved his work.
Yeah. And like I'm down to get maybe like collabs with him and like other people, or maybe even like I've even thought about maybe getting Guy to like blast over this like old sleeve after I've seen. Yeah, my favorite sleeve.
Show us that.
What you got going on there?
It's some old like bad bio. Like I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I just had a bunch of really, really bad tattoos on my arm, and I was like, I need to cover all these like ASAP.
Should definitely see what Guy would do.
And this guy was like, oh, like bio would be the way to go for that.
Fuck yeah.
So I did it, but I noticed whenever I was looking at other people's bio, it didn't look like mine. Like I was seeing like Ty's and Guy's, Carson's and everyone, and I'm like, that looks a lot better than mine. Yeah. So I was like, I want that on my body.
Yeah.
I always just kind of thought it was unattainable. Like I always thought like these tattoo artists were like superstars that had like years booked out and everything, and it's really not like that at all.
let's actually like talk about that for a minute, because I think a lot of people are like, even myself, when I started collecting from like some heavy hitter artists, even being a tattooer, like how do I even approach them? How do I get to know them? Like how do I and talk to us about how easy it really is.
I literally just sent an email, and then
Boom.
yeah, I got an email back within like a day, I think, actually, from Ty's assistant, and she basically outlined like everything that I should expect starting like a big project and everything. She's like, it's not going to be finished overnight, like all that. She went over his rates, like his travel rates and everything.
Oh, we're pausing again.
Paused again, man.
Come on, connection. I love it though. I love hearing like even like I said, as a tattooer, it's kind of intimidating to like reach out to somebody you look up to or admire, or somebody that you think is like one of the best at what they do in the world. And to know that it's actually as simple as just simply sending the email.
Yeah.
Like either they or a manager or somebody will eventually be back in contact with you. But
right, you don't have to you don't have to settle. You can seek out any artist you want.
I just think it's so important to know that it's that easy.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're serious and you know you're committed to the amount of money it's gonna, excuse me, coffee burps, the amount of money it's gonna take and the amount of time it's gonna take, like it really is, like when you're that committed, it really is as simple as just reaching out to whatever
Absolutely.
artist it is. Like it's just a matter of doing it. Like nobody's unattainable. I don't know. Talking about Ty, I remember what it was like when I was first getting to know Adam. And, you know, we're talking about like the kind of bio I like. So I'm showing him like work of his that I like, and work of guys that I like, work of Ty's, work of Russ's, you know, all of like the bucket list artists that I wanted to work on. Like these are the kind of bio I like from these artists. So it like within bio, it could show Adam like the niche bio that I'm into, because there's so many different directions you can run with it. But it was cool, like just having those like first few talks with Adam and him being like, well, like I know Ty, we work together all the time. And me being like, you know Ty too. And him being like, yeah, like we could totally make a collab happen. And then like a year later, I get a random, like I'm sitting at my desk at the shop, and this was still when I had my own studio, and I was just like super stressed out. Money was probably tight. I don't know. I don't remember what the actual like stress in my life was. But I'm sitting there and I'm just like him hawing about the day. And out of nowhere, I get this text and it's like, hi, Fawn, this is Ty McEwen. And I was like, I'm just like looking at my phone, like Ty McEwen knows my name.
right.
Yeah. So it's really cool that like all it took was me mentioning it to Adam. And, you know, they do a lot of collaborative projects together. And to have a client that like Adam already knows and is already interested in collabs and committed, and for him to pass the word on and have Ty actually hit me up and be interested in wanting to work on me was a pretty cool, like, well, this day just got a whole lot better.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, like I said, I can't even remember what I was stressed about. It was just like being upset to being like, oh, Ty McEwen knows my name.
right. No, that's exactly how I
think I'm back.
Guy, that's how I felt. Well, when I first got tattooed by Adam, that's how I felt. That's how I felt when I got by Nathan.
While you were gone, I was talking about what it was like when I got the message from Ty. We just kind of like picked up what you were talking about and kind of segued off of it. So So once Ty's manager hit you back and started explaining how everything worked and the rates and all of that, how'd everything go from there?
I just set up. I told her that I wanted to get in as soon as possible because I was between jobs at that point. So I just wanted to like start something before I started working somewhere else and had to heal a tattoo at work. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I went out within, I think, a month. I mean, it was kind of scary. So like, I never flown or anything before. It was my first time flying, and I flew alone out to Arizona. But like they just picked me up from the airport, and it wasn't like weird or anything or awkward at all. But I mean, obviously we didn't have a whole lot to talk about yet because we didn't know each other all that well, but it was still a fun trip.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny because so many of the years that I've known Ty, I would see him and my palms would just start sweating and my heart would start racing just because my chest wasn't finished yet and I knew he was going to hurt me. And it was like a PTSD every time I saw him. And then I'd see Rango and I'd be happy again.
Yeah, Rango's a good dog.
But it's funny because Ty's he's just such a chill, like laid back, like the opposite of aggressive soul. But to like that person make my palms sweat and make me like, I gotta go do something else somewhere, not around him.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
I love it. I love hanging out. I love getting to know artists and hanging out with them a little bit on a personal level because it kind of lets you know, like, I don't know, for me in my experience, like the more I get to know my artist, the more I understand why I'm drawn to their creativity and their style. And it's because like their imaginations are working a lot like mine do. And they're attracted to like the same visual things or even the same like similar hobbies. You know, it just seems like the other art nerds whose art I'm attracted to happen to be like nature nerds who love to like stand and stare at waterfalls while taking,
right. So
you know,
you pick artists that are like make the styles that you're drawn to. It's like they tend to have personalities that you're drawn to as well. So you end up meeting people that
it's like you start off thinking you might not have anything in common, but in reality, we have the same interest in art and tattoos. So we have like the same interests in so many other areas of our life. You know, we start out.
That's how I ended up at Red Tree. I mean, really, to be honest, first getting tattooed by Adam and then being like, oh shit, Adam's a cool guy. And like, this shop is awesome. These people are super like-minded people. Hit up Nathan, got tattooed by Nathan. He did my chest. And then like me and Nathan became friends and like, he was, super good dude. A lot of similar interests. And then my Guy, and then being able to just have a lot of awesome conversations with Guy and like pick his mind apart a little bit.
Yeah, I got to have breakfast with Guy once at Hell City. That was cool, but I haven't really talked to him too much.
Yeah, should definitely get a piece by him, man.
Yeah, like I said, I thought about maybe having him and Ty like cover this sleeve, but the only thing is I'm not trying to get lasered. Like I know like the outcome of the tattoo will look a lot better if you do laser it, but I also know that like, I mean, I've seen Guy and Ty cover up some pretty gnarly tattoos without laser.
Yeah. Where are you not tattooed?
Basically my legs.
Your legs are open?
Yeah. I mean, I've got some old like portraits on one of my legs.
Nice. Do you have any ideas for who you want to do your legs?
I think Ty's going to do my left leg for sure.
Yeah, you're just going to go Ty body.
Yeah. We've kind of like already talked about like what we want to do on my leg. I don't know. I've got a couple different ideas. That's
fucking dope. It'll be so uniform. It's going to look awesome.
But then on my right leg, I don't know if you guys saw last Hell City, Ty and Kurt Windisch were supposed to do this collab. It was going to be on a leg or an arm. I forget which, but I just didn't have the money for it. But I kind of thought that I would like to do like a Ty and Kurt collab from like my knee down.
That would be rad.
Yeah. Because I really like Kurt's work too, like all the weird like spirals and shapes that he makes.
Yeah, they do kind of talk in a lot of the same language where like Ty's playing in more of like the ornamental, like filigree, leafery. Kurt plays with like novel type shapes. Like it's always like sacred spirals and everything. Well, I shouldn't say he does, but that's one of the things I love seeing in his work is he'll take that sacred spiral and he'll twist it at a weird angle or he'll put it in motion and then add those spikes like you mentioned. There's a lot of cool things that he does, and I think he and Ty they would feed well off of one another.
Yeah, Kurt's another really good dude too. Like I always like whenever we can go to conventions, when we go to Hell City, we have breakfast together like almost every day that we're there.
Nice.
I miss conventions, man. I feel like we talk about it in every show, at least a little bit.
Well, it's
how
worth
much I
talking
miss
about. It was
conventions.
literally like our tattoo community. That's
Mhm.
like how we got together as a community, and we're a community. Now at least we're lucky we have the internet to be able to talk to each other like this, and that's so great.
It's not the same as the family reunion with like 2,000 of us
But
all
seriously,
together at
once a
once.
month, you know, there's one or two conventions for sure. You know, I mean, you have an opportunity to go to a convention every weekend if you wanted to, you know, around the country when they were going on. I was trying to do one every other month.
That's a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it was a lot. I was getting to once I got to Red Tree, I started getting to I'm going to chill on this a little bit.
Once it becomes work, that's when it's like,
yeah, I was stoked about it for
a
couple
was
years.
good.
And then I just like, now I really appreciate just being there, talking to everyone. I'm not so like, I have to tattoo the whole time and show off. I want to like hang out with everyone.
Yeah.
But it's hard to just hang out when you're spending $1,000 to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely miss conventions. That's where I met like a lot of my friends and like fun. I think I met you. Did we meet at a convention or was it the Ohio Bio show? I think it was Hell City, maybe.
I think we already knew each other at the Ohio Bio Show.
Yeah, I feel like you're right.
Hell City. I
We
bet we
should
did.
Yeah, but
definitely,
like, huh?
so there should definitely be another Ohio Bio.
Oh, that's
So-
Nathan and Nicole's baby.
Is it?
So I'm sure it will happen, but it'll probably be at Nathan's new studio, Hollow Earth.
Nice.
I think they're finally in there working on it. I think. I could be wrong, but I know
Yeah,
it's
no,
getting closer.
I've seen some pictures. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
So we're talking about Nathan Marty. He worked at Red Tree for years, but he left. He and Rusty, and I don't know his real name. His Instagram handle is Boney the Tiger, I believe. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I don't know his name either.
But
Who else
anyways,
they pulled down?
It's going to be a rad little shop. It's actually just a little bit south of where the old Red Tree location was. It'll be a brand new
What road is it on?
location. On Fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah, like just right up from there.
Okay.
So I imagine if the Ohio Bio
Ohio
Bio show
Ohio
happens again, I hope Nathan puts the time into doing it because I think we all really enjoyed that.
When I talked to him last time, he said, which it was at the last Ohio Bio show, he said that they plan to do it again like every other year. So it would fall on this year if they do it, but we'll see how that goes.
I wasn't here for those. What did you guys do?
So it was just a
Art gallery?
bio art gallery themed show. They organized like a bio themed little was it London Bellman that did the little trophies?
No, that was last year. That was Hivamek. I forget his first name. It's Velasquez, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Marco, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marco
Marco.
Velasquez made these really cool little bio tiles, and those were the prizes. Did you win?
Yeah, I can actually go grab mine if you want to see it.
Yeah, grab
Oh
it.
yeah,
Go grab it. See, all the little treasures. Boom! Look at how rad that thing is.
I love those. What is that? Like a epoxy sculpt or
It
something?
looks like a horseshoe crab skeleton.
No, I mean like what is it made of? It's awesome.
It's like it's on a wood plank, and I think he made it with plaster, maybe.
Yeah.
I forget. And like on the back, he's got like little bio notes. I thought was cool too.
That's sick, man.
Nice.
That's super sick.
But yeah, I was stoked to win that because I had my eye on that one from like the time I got there. I was like, I want that.
Nice.
I'm glad it worked out like that.
Yeah.
There was one of the other guys that came into town. I wish I could remember his name. He had was it Black and Gray from Toby, or was it maybe Chris Hall? I can't remember, but it was a really rad Black and Gray bio sleeve.
I think it was Toby that did that one.
Toby's?
Yeah. And then I think the
Was
best
Forrest?
large color. Yeah, Forrest won best large color with his leg from Ty and Brian.
Yeah. Forrest is?
Forrest.
What's Forrest's last name?
I think it's Gribble.
Nice. So it's Forrest G.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Forrest G.
Nice.
He'd be a
Not
good
for,
one too. He's got
yeah,
a great.
not Forrest G on Instagram.
Yep. That's great.
Nice.
Yeah, he'd be a super good one to talk to. He's got the huge piece that Josh Payne and
Brian Geckel.
Geckel did the
Okay.
huge chest panel on him. It's got like
What is it?
DNA strands coming out and like illuminated and like a person in the middle all silhouetted.
It's like I think it's a DMT themed piece.
Let me see if I can find it on the interwebs real quick. Not Forrest G. Look at this.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. Show the camera.
Over there.
Where
They
is
can't
it?
see it. It's too overexposed. Boom, there it is.
Too much. You can't. No one can see that. But it's wild. I wonder.
Yeah,
if
that is wild. He sat for 2 days in a row, like long sessions on his front for that.
I think he took second overall for the weekend. Look at that thing. Ugh, nuts.
Send it to Sandy. Screenshot it. Send it to her real quick. She said she'll post it up.
I'll send her all these screenshots. Oh, come on. Okay, no more elevator music. So, is that Sandy talking to us?
Mm-hmm. It's you.
So, let's talk some more about your caddies. Oh, there's Forrest. This piece was so good.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of judging that weekend, so it was really cool to like get my face up in that like 3 inches away and like see some of the tricks they used while it was still fresh. You know, I could see areas where like one lining technique was used to as opposed to another, tricks they used to like keep those negative areas. But that glow in the middle is impressive.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have 2 people working on my stomach and chest at one time.
Dude, I don't know if I could do it. I was getting my back done by a guy, and I was trying to imagine someone else working on my back, and it just seemed like just a big fuck no.
Yeah, I did the same thing when Ty tattooed me. I was like, there's no way.
It's not worse.
But I don't know. I might still my back's done now. I mean, I'm not going to have 2 people work on it now, but at the same time, there's another reality where I still might have done it, you know,
Yeah.
even though I hurt that bad. Because once you got it, it's done. Just like doing the 2-day sessions. Like I feel like I've done 4 sessions, but I feel like I've done 2 sessions on my back.
For sure.
That's so
Man,
killer.
I love the way that shape on your shoulder. It like jets like a scapula, it's like a bone shape, but made out of rock or made out of coral. I just love the way he like literally transforms it into like not something else, but like a whole different body part made
It's got
out of
so
something
much
else.
mass. Like, it just has weight too. It just covers that shoulder so well.
Yeah, this is probably still out of all my tattoos my favorite. Like I'll probably always like my sleeve the most.
Right where it kind of close to that armpit there, almost like where that all that depth is created. I just love that break into those cool grays.
So Jay, I can't help but notice that you don't have your armpit done.
That might actually be next on the list after I finish my front. Because I don't know if I want to, I do want to start my leg, but I don't know if I want to start another like huge project right now or if I want to do a smaller one.
Yeah, do like another glowy portal in your armpit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. More like green in there. But I have such a small area left of my armpit that I honestly don't think it'll be that bad of a session.
Look, see how his like camouflaged in there? Thank God that's how mine is too. I feel like it would have sucked so much more to just like make it solid color.
Oh, there's a nipple in there?
Yeah, there's a nipple in there. See how it like, camouflaged it with these textures around it? Oh, Ty, you're awesome.
I didn't know you had a nipple anymore.
Yeah.
So it just looks like another bump.
Mm-hmm. And like so it all just like it's supposed to be there.
That's awesome.
I love how it's like transforming the body part. It's not like covering it, burying it, but he like camouflages and transforms it into what it's gonna be.
It's like a dragon eye.
Mm-hmm.
Not now, Apple.
There we go.
Yeah, man, that big old hook on your back.
Yeah, I love that. It just feels like you can like reach your arm into it.
Oh yeah, right.
I like this negative, like slimy, like entrail space behind the hook, though. That like, I don't know. It just looks like a gross, disgusting guts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just looks like guts in the best way.
Guts and visceral muscle tissue.
Disgusting.
I think Ty said that's actually where he got that texture reference from when he was like skinning an animal.
Yeah, just like that. Those like ochres almost look like fatty tissue around it too. It's fatty, but almost like solid rock too at the same time. Could be either or.
I like the way he rolls from these like super neutral colors right into that super cool blue too, and it all looks believable and readable. He's a wizard.
Yep.
Like I see stuff that Ty does, and you don't imagine it can get any better. And then you see stuff that he does 2 years later, and it's like, man, where is this coming from? What aliens are you talking to?
Yeah, this tattoo right here is actually a huge cover up.
Is it? Why wouldn't you wouldn't even know?
Yeah. There's actually like a really big raven hidden in there in that like dark rocky area.
Right there?
Yeah. That's like where its feet were. And like it went onto my back a little bit. So he actually, my original plan was to have Ty do my ribs and Guy do my back. And then whenever Ty tattooed my ribs, he actually went on to like a third of my back to cover all of that. So I was like, I might as well just have Ty do the back now.
Fair.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Wow, Kaylee, man. It gets me so stoked. Love seeing good bio like that. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I like that Sandy's highlighting the armpit area.
Gotta get it done. Gotta get it done.
I really do think a green portal would look the best there because you've got all those green highlights and glow areas around it. Another glowy. And you've got like a green orb in your underarm, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's if you can see.
Yep. Yep, that's a lot of green. I think that would look really nice.
How did your armpits feel, Fawn?
Okay, so you know the edge of your pectoral muscle, like right here, where it's super sensitive and sucks? It doesn't get worse. So you're already pretty much tattooed. I mean, it doesn't get worse. It'll change sensation a little bit, but it's not worse than that. For me, like the ribs were more exhausting.
Yeah, I've kind of always heard that the areas around the armpit are worse than the armpit itself. So that gives me a little bit of confidence to go in and get mine blasted because I've literally only got the armpit left.
It's superficial though. It's like, not that I have my arms done, but it's superficial, like a sensitive part of the leg, or like, you know how like the ditch probably super sucks, like the areas of the knee and stuff that suck. It's like that. It gets really hot, but it's superficial. It's not like the painful spots on your chest or your collarbones or your nippies. It's just hot.
That's good.
Yeah.
Your body just wants to tell you that it's more intense than it really is.
I really thought it was going to be a lot. Guy babied me. He works in layers also. I feel like Ty will probably approach it in a super similar way to how Guy approached mine. But especially since you've only got like a large softball area to go, like you don't even have anything to be scared of.
Yeah.
You already got
I always get scared though before almost every session. Ty like kind of makes fun of me a little bit, and he's like, "Dude, look at all this work we've done, and you're still getting scared." And I'm like, "I don't know, man,
Like
I'm
now
just-
you know too much though. I feel like that's what happens. Get tattooed a lot.
It's
like,
different.
It almost doesn't get better.
But for my torso, I get anxiety. But like when I got my upper leg done by Russ and Tofi, even though it was 2 artists all day, I was so like casual and unworried. And like people were like, "No, this is gonna be bad. It's 2 people at once." Like, right, but I've already had 2 people at once on my chest.
yeah,
So it won't be worse than that. And not to be arrogant, but like the 8th hour all the way through 9.5 hours to complete it, that was pretty brutal. But like to get 8 hours into a tattoo before it's like, all right, this sucks with 2 of you. But
yeah,
it's just superficial. It's like, it sucks, but you can just like deal with it more when it's out on the extremities.
yeah. Because I feel like it's like you can kind of ignore the pain and be like, it's over there. But whenever you're getting your torso done or your back, it's like where your soul lives.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your soul doesn't get
no
tattooed.
choice, but all of your focus go to it.
Your soul doesn't. Your arms are getting worked on. Your soul gets tattooed when it's like your chest, your back,
chest,
like your trunk is
center
so.
of the chest and the back. I think that's probably the worst spot I've had is just like center of the chest in the front, and then the exact same spot center of the back.
It's so attached to chakras. Like if you didn't believe chakras were a real thing, once you get your trunk tattooed, you know where the body.
I got a guy tattooed my soul, man. Chakra.
I like the way we're all just like curling up and holding
I'm protecting
ourselves.
it right now. I'm like,
Jay's even like, oh.
Yeah, I think on my back it was actually the lower back that hurt the most, like the tramp stamp area.
Sacrum.
Yeah, it was pretty tender. My shoulder blades weren't like as bad, I feel like, but I don't know. I don't remember. It was like it's been over 2 years since we finished my back.
We've got a producer with us. Can you guys see him?
Mine's over there sleeping on the bed.
Lodged.
just see some eyes.
Just eyes.
Void and eyes.
So now that we're kind of talking about like the soul button being touched, how do you feel that collecting tattoos has changed you? How do you feel it has changed you as a person and like spiritually? Do you feel that it has?
I don't know. I guess maybe a little bit. Like before, like I never would have dreamed that I would be able to do things like lay on a table all day and just get like blasted with needles for like 8 to 10 hours. But I mean, it's just like anything else. Like if you do things and like you're gonna, I don't know. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. I just woke up, but it's like going to school or doing anything else. I feel like you learn, like you're gonna get more confidence like as you do more of it, and like once you're gonna realize that you're capable of doing like so much more than like you probably like originally thought, you know.
Right. You kind of that warrior status mode where you just like push yourself farther than you thought you were going to push yourself. Like you start, hate to say it, but you start off thinking it's going to be bad, and you're like, oh yeah, no, it's going to be really bad for a while, and just having to like root yourself through something that it's like, oh man, there's nothing else in life where I would really do this to myself for this long, and I don't know.
Yeah.
You just overcome those feelings of pain like you did, and like having to deal with that. I don't know exactly how to touch on that, but it's just
I feel like it makes sucky life circumstances less sucky, because it's like, well, I've already dealt with this, I've already dealt with that, I've already sat through this. Like I know what I can withstand, and I know the mental fortitude I've shown before. So it like just makes you step up to the plate in every other way.
Right. It's kind of like, it almost feels like what you got the African tribes. I probably already said this before in the podcast, but when you put your hands in the bull ant things, you know, and like become a man or become like part of like the, you know, their like
the tribe,
their culture and the tribe, become an adult person, a matured person. So you go through the fullest extent of what you can feel for pain. And so that's like your initiation to like real life. And I feel like it almost feels like that. I don't know how it could be that much different because, I mean, of course, bullet ends are going to hurt a lot, but like, man, getting tattooing fucking sucks. It really does.
Yeah.
When you go through it for like 8 straight hours, I mean,
man,
How
after
long
I
is
get
the
you're pushed to see how much you can really deal with. It's not like it's just like bam, like getting shot, like bam, now you're in pain and now it's gone. It's you're in pain and now we have to sustain this. How are we going to sustain this pain for this long? So you come up with your inner, you have no choice but to come up with some sort of inner coping mechanisms, as subtle as they
are. Do you
are.
ever count? Do you like start counting your breaths?
I'll count, I'll like tap, tap my like this. I'll like do weird things to put little stressors on little areas of my body, like put my fingers together in like little mudras. I won't do it like in like a, I won't totally be like meditating with mudras and like, you know, hardcore, but like I find that when I have like these weird little pressure circuits like in my body and I make little areas of pressure, I can like signal the pain to like that and have the weird like, it's like, it was like one of my coping mechanisms that I found really interesting that like when I was pinching my fingers together, it would be creating that pressure there was
I just want to
really
curl
helping
up. I just want to like take
change
my
the
hands
way
together
my mind
and
is dealing
curl
with
up
the pain.
and then like crawl into a corner and cry like a little girl.
yeah. That's what I
Hard when I'm on a massage table though.
That is how I feel that definitely. But then sitting there, I'm like, I cannot sit here and cry this entire time. I do not want to, you know, make this worse on myself and fall into all these negative feelings. I have no choice but to cope and deal. But really, it just comes down to fucking breathing, unless you find a way to.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it a weird feeling when you're sitting there and you're like voluntarily putting yourself through like what other people would consider torture, but you're voluntarily putting yourself through it? Isn't it a weird feeling to be like going through the most extreme pain of your life, but at the same time be grateful that this artist is taking the time to do it for you?
Yeah,
Isn't
like
that a weird like mash of like extreme pain and gratitude? If that's not a conundrum, I don't know what is.
Torture me, I love you. I love you, please. No, yeah, it's really cool. It's interesting though. That's one of the things that I sit there thinking when I'm getting tattooed. It's like there's really no other times that you'll ever sit for like first off, like 8 hours, you know, just like looking, staring at a wall. Like that's gonna be a pretty rare instance. You know, unless you're like a hardcore meditator and you're just like, I'm meditating all day today. But like then to do that while having someone torture you, then just going through a lot of pain, and then like you said, being
like
grateful for it
hurt.
at the same time.
Cool, I'll keep doing it.
But then also feeling completely helpless. There's nothing you can do except for just, you know, be there with it. And then the pain in the present. You're more in the present than you are in a lot of circumstances because you just have no choice.
Yeah, and I think sometimes to touch on what you just said, like knowing that like there's nothing you can really do about it, I think that like makes it a little worse whenever I know that like I can stop at any point, but like I don't want to because I'm like, this hurts so bad. Like I want to stop literally right now, but I can't bring myself to do it.
Right. I like that push though, like when guys working on my back, and to be honest, like I'm not gonna tell him to stop. I'm gonna let him go as long as he wants to go and stuff until I've actually absolutely had my limit. Like if we're after like, listen, I'm fucking dead, and every time he's touching me, I just can't fucking do anything. Like that's
your impersonation of yourself is spot on. Perfect.
PTSD is fresh, still fresh. Oh.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah, but I forgot what I was saying there.
Sorry.
It's all right.
No, keep hurting me. Don't stop.
Right.
Oh, the things we put ourselves to, but it's so worth it. I feel like there's always that little bit of time right afterwards where my body is completely depleted and I still feel like, for lack of a better word, just punished. You know what I mean? When you're like after the session and you're humbled and you have been put in your place by the universe. Like there's that initial feeling for like, it depends on the session, how long that lasts. Sometimes it's a whole day. But afterwards, it's like, okay, I did it. I accomplished it. It wasn't that bad. I lived through it and I'll be able to do it again. Like there's this moment of like, you're humbled and there's all of this humility. And then there's the like, but now I'm stronger. I was humbled yesterday and I'm stronger today for it. There's another funny conundrum. Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Like beat up at first and then stronger?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, keep
uh,
going. Sorry,
oh
keep
no,
going.
go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I forget now.
Oh yeah, right. I was just gonna say that like as soon as you get like when you get out of the session, you're just I forgot what I was gonna say too. Right.
I always
I lost it.
One
that's
time
just
it was not during a session. It was like I stopped by Red Tree to pick up some grips or something when the supply company was still in the basement. And I was like, hey man, I just want to apologize to you because I'm always like so weird after our sessions. Like I'm usually like weird and trip over my words and like forget what I'm trying to say and like I'm shaky and jittery. Like that's not really who I am. And he like put his, you know how Adam is. He like gave me the one arm hug and he was like, dude, I just tortured you for 7 hours. You shouldn't be yourself. It's okay. You know, so it's like, it's almost like.
When I was the first night of getting done with Guy, that's how it was. I was just like shaky, totally humbled. That was like the first big session I've had on my back like that all day. And so like that was the first one I've had to put myself through. I feel like it got a little bit better throughout the other ones because I knew what to expect. My body was conditioned to it a little bit more. But that first time, you know, I was just like shaky at the end of the night. There was just like one little tear, like right before we came down because it was just my body just had like a breakdown. I was just like, holy fuck, like I'm so humbled to the point of like pain. Like, oh my God, I've reached my pinnacle limit of what my mind can take before it just like totally like breaks from pain. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like when we start to like forget our words, just because that's what the feeling feels like when like you've exhausted all of the like every in your body. Like you've run out of like adrenaline, you've run out of dopamines and serotonin, like you're just depleted. And like I feel like describing that feeling, you start to forget your words. It's a funny thing that happens.
It's just energy. There's no energy, and then I find like what I just know your willpower is low, all your dopamine's low, everything's low, serotonin's low for just going flexing all day and just going in and out of, you know, all the pains and just breathing and stuff. It's just mentally exhausting, physically exhausting to go through it. So by the time you're done, it's just, I'm usually pretty beat. But there's also that dopamine rush, you know, you feel so fucking good to just not be getting tattooed anymore. It's like, I don't give a shit what happens in the world right now. I'm just happy to pain anymore. Like I could be anywhere in the fucking world. I could just be in the worst place ever. But the fact that the pain's not happening anymore, sweet.
I always feel that way after a tattoo session. I'm just like elated that it's over.
I just
like
I love that shit. Like that's what it's like. All right, I'll let up to this feeling. Sweet, I'm gonna roll with it as much as possible. Just dive into the endorphin rush.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the first shower after a tattoo session?
Oh yeah, I like your back. Like
yeah.
First day.
My back especially was rough because I usually travel alone. And before I started using Saniderm, I just healed with plastic wrap. I would change plastic wrap like 2 to 4 times a day and keep it clean. But it's definitely hard to like wash your back whenever it's just been tattooed because you're like scared of the water, number one. And then you get out and you're like so cold, but you got to like take all this time to like dry your tattoo and rewrap it and everything. It's rough.
Ink boogers that roll off.
Yeah, there's all that like nasty what is it, plasma that's still coming out.
Yeah, the plasma takes so long to actually like get that layer off for those first couple days, especially that first, just like just one big fucking plasma goop biopile.
Yeah, and like especially on like my arm and parts of my stomach where it's like green, it just looks like snot coming out all over my shower.
Yeah, right.
Kind of like the same consistency too, I guess, just nasty slime.
I just feel real bad for whoever's getting those fucking towels afterwards.
So there were a few sessions that I had where, like, when we first started my back, we did Russ like gray lined everything, and then put the black and the dark red in. That session in particular, when I dried off, it looked like a murder scene. I left a note. I left a note that it was from a tattoo session, so nobody called the police. Yeah. Like it was like dark red and black slime all over everything. And I
And then there's
really
like
felt
blue.
like
They're
it
like,
was,
what the fuck is there blue in here? What? So
I really like it was necessary to leave a note for the housekeeper so they knew what was up. But
sorry, my cat's mad.
My dog hears your cat.
how's your dog?
He's good. Come here, Cricket. Come here. Hang on, I'll go get him. He's being shy.
Every time I see Jay.
I'm just gonna pop in here and read a couple comments from the Facebook things. There's some action.
Sweet.
Yep, Jessica Keel says she's been commenting quite a bit. She says there's no life or growth without pain, labor, growing teeth. It's inevitable. I feel it gives you a chance to meditate through the process with perks like knowing you'll make it out okay. I also feel that your outward appearance reflects part of who you are.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I
She
like
said at the Ohio Bio Show and said that it was good to meet some faces. So I'm guessing she might have met up with you guys.
what was her name?
Yeah,
Jessica Keel.
yeah, I remember I met her at the last Ohio Bio show.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Awesome. Well, she's watching.
Yeah.
Neo Donizete Conte is from Brazil. He was the organizer of Tattoo Week and he's giving everybody hugs.
Hugs
Uh,
back,
He's
man.
back. Yes.
COVID hugs.
I want to see if I can.
Y'all quinoa, I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy.
Yalzi, maybe?
Y'all Quinones is saying that you have an amazing collection, Jay.
Thank you.
There's people wanting you to visit Florida, having greetings from Spain. So Joe
okay.
Izzo says anything else is better than getting the torso done.
Oh, I can't
We've
wait to man. For them. I'm just waiting for the opportunities to present themselves.
Awesome.
But I'm just so unafraid. I'm so unafraid to get my arms done, and the things I'm committed to are going to be pretty giant collaborative. But I'm so unafraid after having my torso almost complete. Like I feel like once I check that off my list, like check torso completed, I feel like I'm going to be like, it's kind of like becoming like another belt level in jiu-jitsu or something. Once your torso is complete, you are now a black belt collector. Could that be fair?
I would probably.
Yeah.
I could probably.
Like
I mean,
entire trunk.
A black belt, if your entire torso is,
Could I call myself a purple belt right now
Well,
since I only have my belly to go?
well, what's higher? Is there anything? What's higher than a black belt?
There are different levels of black belts. I think there's like 3 levels within each level.
So you can consider yourself, I would say, a black belt once your torso, sleeves are done, and then the rest maybe levels from there. No, maybe just torso and then levels from there.
You're closer than I am, Jay.
Yeah,
Is
you're
your
like,
belly complete?
you're
Yeah.
like level 2 black, level 3 black belt. It looks like. Torso. Now you got your legs. Yeah, level 2. So each level from there is a sleeve.
Yeah, I definitely hope to finish my torso this year. I don't know how that's going to work with like COVID and everything going on, but
I'll be right back, guys. It's tinkle time.
Tinkle time. Yeah, we should come out. We should come up with our own like tattoo collecting scale. You know how they have like the burn charts. Like they say that figure out like your coverage of tattoo. It's the same that they would use for a burn chart. But we should come up with our own, like not just that way, but like our own. Like Jay is a red level tattoo collector from blah blah blah. And such is a blue level collector. And this person's a virgin. Never collected a tattoo.
that's my girlfriend. She was actually supposed to get her first tattoo from Ty last, I think in March or April when he was supposed to come to Indiana. But
Nice.
then COVID hit. He's got this big like rose that he did on a flash sheet that he wants to do with like, I don't know, like this kind of like weird thing back behind it, like the leaves are really exaggerated and everything. She wanted to get it like the size of her hand, and I was like, nah, that's like a thigh piece. That's like the whole side of a thigh. But she's never been tattooed before, so she's really scared about it. But
Somebody
I
I'd
told her-
like to talk to. I would love to talk to somebody who doesn't have any tattoos, who is like looking to get tattooed. But I would love to talk to somebody, if anybody's listening out there, I'd love to talk to somebody who has no tattoos, who is looking to commit to a bodysuit. Like I would love to talk to that art or that collector from like the beginning through. If anybody's listening who wants a bodysuit, who hasn't started, I feel like that's the kind of person I'd love to get some other points of view from.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was incredibly patient as a collector,
And
so I don't really have cover-ups.
And if
but
we haven't contacted anyone, we would love to help figure out.
maybe we could get a
help
hold of like
them figure out where to go from there if they need any help in finding like the best artist for it.
and,
That could as
maybe
well,
if
but
we reached
also-
out to like an artist like Adrian Lee, who does like exclusively like huge bodysuit
Right,
style
be like,
work.
hey, let us interview one of your
Yeah,
clients.
if you got somebody that's like a blank canvas and you're getting ready to start, let's send them our way. Do you think that'd be cool? Would you want to hear somebody's point of view who never had tattoos but was jumping in like to the deep end like that?
Yeah, for sure. Especially if they were going to like a really great artist for their first tattoo, because I did not. It took like more years than it should have for me to like get to like a really good artist that I liked, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
because I was impatient. I just like back when I was like 18, I just wanted to be like tattooed and everything. So I got like a bunch of really shitty ones. And then
So what kind of stuff did you what were your motivations? So okay, let's rewind. We're gonna talk to like the 18, 19-year-old Jay. So when you were 18, 19, 20, what were you looking for? Like what were you looking for in a tattoo then? And then compared to what keeps you going back to Thai now?
well, back then, like it sounds bad to say, but I just wanted to get tattooed. Like I didn't really like I wasn't on Instagram and everything, so I didn't really know that there were these like tattoos out there that just looked like amazing, you know. I had just seen more local tattoos. So like anything really would do like back then for me. But then like when I started seeing like these other artists like Ty, Nico, like anyone just doing like these badass tattoos all the time, I was like, I want that on my body. So like that's kind of where we're at now. Like I don't want like less than what I would say is like a perfect or like the best tattoo for myself anymore, you know? Because
Funny,
like
once you realize what's possible, that now that's the only standard you'll settle for.
yeah, because like I have to look at it forever, like or at least until I die, you know what I mean? And like I've got tattoos still on my body that I absolutely hate and would like to be gone. But like I also have a lot of tattoos that I really like and make me happy. So like I'll get there eventually. Like they'll all be good tattoos eventually, but it's just gonna take some years.
It's not a race.
Yeah.
It's not a race. Early on, as a tattooer, I used to catch a lot of flack for not having a lot of tattoos, for not having my arms done. But like before I even tattooed, I got my pretty good sized pieces on both of my ribs, and I had stuff on my feet. Like I had painful areas done, so like I appreciated what I was doing to people, but I took a lot of crap for not having tattoos. Like other tattooers that I worked with, it was just like a left and right that they'd like jab at me that I didn't, I had to be tattooed to get tattoos. But now I'll be around those same people and they're just like, well, how'd you get Russ to work on you? Well, I didn't have a bunch of garbage that you put on me to cover up, first of all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it took patience. And as a young tattooer, I just knew that I wasn't going to be in small town Marion forever. I knew that I was going to get out of Marion and I was going to get my name out of Columbus. And like, I knew that I was going to move up the food chain, so to speak. You know what I mean? Eventually I would meet the artists that I looked up to. So like early on, I was patient just because I had faith that would happen. So I didn't want to like give up real estate that could be used for a better project or artists that I could learn from, So for me, that's a lot of my motivation to be incredibly patient was I wanted to wait till like I was of the caliber to even like learn the tricks from these artists, you know?
Yeah.
And on top of it, like as a young tattooer, all of my money went right back into tattooing. So I was broke until like recently. And like, because of the podcast, I'm still broke. So it's cool. But early on, I knew I couldn't afford the artist that I wanted, but I knew someday I would be able to. I just knew that I would. So for me, it like I just had enough faith in myself that I knew I would meet these people that I looked up to. So I had to save my real estate for them. So motivation was a little bit different than the average collector because of, like I wanted to use my real estate to learn. Sometimes I even joke around because of all the people I've had work on me that I feel like my bodysuit is a master's degree in art or tattooing, either way. With the money I have in it, I feel like it definitely is.
Yeah. Some people don't believe me. Like they'll ask me how much I spent on tattoos and everything, and I'm like all together, or like just like the past 4 years, or what?
I stopped keeping track after I passed 50,000.
I'm at like total for my whole body, like including all the shitty tattoos that I don't like, at like 20 right now.
Yep, it happens quick and easy.
Yeah,
it's quick.
I mean, but you're getting a good return on your money though, like especially like whenever you're getting like whole like giant tattoos like me and you get, and like you too, Jordan. Like it's like a good return because you're literally changing an entire part of your body for not really that much money whenever you think about how long it's going to last.
Right, it's gone. You know, the money's gone, and you don't really think now you're guessing that forever. It's like you've made this commitment, and so now it's there forever. The money just, for me, the thought of the money is so irrelevant. Like it's whatever it takes to save up to make the tattoo happen. I would have paid whatever it took to have the guy do my back.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. I would have been like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to save up for a little while. But regardless, now that I've spent that money, it's a lot of money. But I don't even.
You'll always have something to show for it.
I don't even. I just pretend that money didn't even exist. I'll have something because it's just.
It was never mine.
It was
always guys.
These guys,
Yeah, a lot of people ask me like why I don't buy like a new car and everything, and I'm like, dude, like number one, like I've wrecked so many cars and ruined so many cars. Like I'm not trying to get a brand new car that's just gonna like, one, depreciate in value as soon as you drive it off the lot, and two, like how long does a car really last for, even if you keep up on maintenance and everything, Like I can invest 20,000 in a car and maybe only have it for 5 years or something, or 10 years, or invest 20,000 in tattoos and have like a couple of legs and arms that are going to last for life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Jordan and I have talked about this a lot. I really like comparing like money spent on tattoos to money spent on cars, because I feel exactly the same way. I've spent so much money on cars, and not that I buy expensive cars, but like I drive the balls off my cars.
Yeah.
Like but I've spent so much money on cars since I've been 18 that I now have nothing to show for it. And just like what you were saying, I just wrecked my car a week ago. So I'm back to my creeper van, which I absolutely love. Not a complaint. Love my creeper. But it's one of those, like, that money was spent. I had something to show for it. Now I have nothing to show for it. However, the money I spent on my back piece, I don't even want to add up how many thousands it was, but I will always have something to show for that. Like, so to me now, my back piece is far more valuable than a Cadillac, new or old.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Imagine looking for a tattoo, and something I highly advise not doing is looking for tattoos and tattoo artists like you look for like a car. Like how nice it is versus how expensive it is and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, it's really nice, but it might be kind of expensive, so I might go with this one and compensate because this person already does this. It's kind of, like C quality work. I know I'm going to get C quality for, being a little bit cheaper, as opposed to like A quality for, maybe more expensive or something like that. It's not, I think it's just good to get what you want and do what it takes to get what you want. And it takes you 10 years to save up the amount of funds it takes to get the back piece you want. Be that patient, because then it's going to be with you for the next fucking 50 years.
Yeah.
It is funny how like the dollar amount doesn't even matter. Like once you're committed, I've definitely committed to projects before I had the money to pay for them. You know
Me
what I
too.
mean? But
Yeah.
when it's like, okay, well, that gives me 3 months to come up with X amount. Universe makes it happen. Like if you're willing to work the extra shifts, slide extra appointments in, you know, some of my clients have 2 jobs and their second job is literally only to pay for tattoos. Like when you take it that seriously and you're that like committed, like on the soul level, like when you're really committed to it, universe is going to allow it to happen. You know what I mean? You might just work yourself into the ground to allow for the money, but like universe will put those opportunities there.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I've definitely committed when it was way over my head, and it always happened. Like it might have been at the very last minute. It might have been like a day or 2 before I was supposed to leave town, but like always something would present it.
I remember when I started my sleeve, like I said, I think I had like extra money for my taxes or something, but I had no idea how I was going to pay for like my second session or third session. So I ended up just selling one of my cars because I had 2 at that point. So I sold one for enough to pay for 2 sessions and like 2 plane tickets.
Something presents, man.
Yeah.
And like clearly your tattoo was more important to you than that car was. So it made it really that decision.
Yeah.
Isn't it like I know it always sounds crazy, and I think my family's finally starting to understand how and why I do like dump the money into my tattoos that I do. Like A, I'm learning, but B, it's something that I can do for myself that nobody can ever take from me. I can never lose. It can never be misplaced. It can never be damaged within reason.
Yeah.
It makes other material things less important. Like I'm gonna not go out and go like shoe shopping as often because I know I've got a tattoo appointment coming up. I'm going to pass on those $100 jeans this month and wait till after my tattoo session because I'd rather have extra money for a tip.
Yeah.
You know?
And when you're getting the work that you really want and you're going to the artist that you really want, the feeling is fucking amazing. And I hope anyone who wants a tattoo pursues that and doesn't just go with the easiest option or the closest artist to them.
Mm-hmm.
That they you want to go to, because when you have a piece that's fit just for you, like it's just like it's flawless. There's no flaw in that feeling. You know what I mean? This is like the circuit makes itself. I feel like there's so many times people just get little tattoos, nothing wrong with little tattoos, but like it just depends on where you want to go with your work. I don't want to dog on anyone who gets any other type of work that's not like bodysuits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know, just finding the artist that you want, regardless of the style, you just feel it feels really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like to touch on what you said, like you feel at the end a whole lot better about yourself whenever you do go to the artist that you really wanted and don't settle for less just because maybe like money or like travel constraints at the time. Like I'm way beyond happier with all my work from Ty than I have been with like any other work I've ever put on my body. And then it might be because number one, like it's better quality, but like I put forth the work to get there too. Like I had to save up money. I had I went without like going out, hanging out with friends and a lot just because I had to save money just to go get tattooed because that was my priority at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So brought a little more responsibility and self-discipline. Yeah. Like, but now literally like the kind of work you have on your body, like there's no chance of not having people turn their heads. And so like just like a painting on the wall that makes people think like you're walking that, you know, it's so big and it's so apparent because there's such big, huge, like, you know, crevices and fucking, you know, so much depth in the tattoo, so many cool silhouetted things that you can catch from a distance that, you know, it's going to turn every head and make people think a little bit differently. Yeah. Especially people that don't see things like that, and then they see real work like that. Regardless if they want to get a tattoo, it's like, damn, dude, really people walking around out there that fucking
sometimes
have some
forget.
Crazy shit going on their skin. And
sometimes
it's not just a bunch of little bullshit. You know, tattoos don't have to look like crap. They can be amazing.
Yeah, like you don't have to look like, I don't know, whatever stereotype you want to put out there, like you've been in prison or whatever to be tattooed. Like you can have.
And if that's your thing, that's cool. I mean, it just puts off a
yeah. But you can actually have like true art on your body. And I think people are starting to realize that like tattooing is like a true form of art.
Yeah.
Yeah, tattoos definitely.
Sure.
Tattooing, you know, thanks to like the amazing tattooers that have come before, like Jordan and I and Ty. Like if it wasn't for, you know, tattooers like Guy, he's one that we can't like not mention. He like they're I'm thankful to the tattooers that came before me who allow me to approach tattooing as a fine art. You know, 20 years ago, there was a tiny handful of tattooers that were actual fine artists. Now it's kind of a prerequisite if you want to be taken seriously. Like you should be an artist. You should care about how to make things right and how to make things of quality and how to make a design that is catching to the eye and a design that's going to stand the test of time. Like I'm thankful that now tattooing is finally not just like a lowbrow folk art. I'm thankful, like that's always going to be part of tattooing. That will always, always, always have its place. But I'm really thankful that like in my era of tattooing, we can be fine artists and we're finally starting to get shown in like real galleries and real museums and like Adrian Dominic, like he's a master in our own generation, and I think that's awesome to see. And I'm just thankful that like I'm not swimming upstream. Like for Marty, when Marty was tattooing, like his whole career up until recently, he's swimming upstream, being one of the only ones that's tattooing like a painter.
All these amazing artists walking so we can run, man.
Yeah, I'm thankful that like we're at the very start of the fine art era of tattooing. I think. What do you think? Do you think we're at the start of that, like fine art?
Yeah, probably.
Fine art era.
I think we're on the verge of it being. Well, I think we're definitely on the start of it, because anyone who understands about the tattoo industry realizes the really good art that's being put out, like how good it really is, and that it's like is of quality, if not fucking more quality, of the most amazing paintings you see out there, and then those people are out there making the most amazing paintings you've ever seen. So there's so many artists that I feel like in the fine art industry are taken for granted from like, you know, the more upscale fine art industry and things that I feel like it'll eventually start going down that line, but I don't think anyone's ever going to be paying $1 million for a tattoo.
Oh, like maybe not the tattoo, but maybe the painting that a tattooer made.
Right. But it's funny how you might, you know, a painting can be worth that much, but like, you know, the fucking most amazing tattoo out there.
It's only worth that time that was in it. It can't ever be sold or exchanged. It can't go up in value. It can't go down in value. It just is what it is, and it exists as it is. It's a special thing about a tattoo.
And it's like
any other
Tibetan, like sand mandala, you know, because like you're gonna die and it's gonna be gone. And no one's ever gonna know that it ever existed. Ever again. So it's like one of the most temporary, because most paintings will outlive you if they're not crushed and ruined in their lifetime. Most paints will probably outlive a person.
I just want to come in here and say Matt Jackson's in the comments, and he says that he's loving the conversation. I've been through some crazy conversations with myself while getting my back done, almost spiritual experiences.
Oh man, absolutely spiritual. I think first early episodes we were talking about like the pain flowers and like flying through these giant psychedelic like spiritual mandalas while I'm like the very pinnacle of like the pain train. Like I'm in the most pain of my life, but I'm seeing the most beautiful images at the same time. Sometimes when I talk about it, I get kind of emotional if I go into detail, but that was definitely a soul changing session. Ty was driving the ship.
Yeah, I was out of my body when I was getting my nipple tattooed. When Nathan was going over my nipple, that was just like gone for a second.
Oh, the nipple is so bad.
Dude.
It's so rough.
And it's like, you think it's almost like flat, because when it almost feels flat when it's not hard, but then you end up, you know, it gets hard while it's in pain. Then you realize now it's this 3D cylindrical object that has to be tattooed on all sides.
Yeah, this slow motion videos of nipple tattoos always make me really cringe. You see it fucking bouncing around.
You feel it all, and I'm just there with it all. PTSD comes back when I think about it. I'm so thankful I went through it though. Once it's over,
And especially like now that we're talking about nipple tattoos, like me anyways, I always think a chest tattoo looks better whenever the nipple's at least a little bit obscured and not just like
Pepperoni.
com- yeah, completely like left alone just poking out of the tattoo.
it looks ridiculous. Unless, I mean, sometimes it can blend in with like a bio. Yours blends in perfect with yours, but like, and I think bio is going to be your best option for a nipple poking through like that. But yeah, it's so funny when you see just like the pepperoni in the middle of a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really nice landscape. I really it's nipple.
Flying party.
It just, I mean, to be honest, like regardless of the hilarity of that, it's just, it throws depth off. I think it's going to throw the whole piece off.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really understood if it's like client choice or artist choice or maybe both to like leave the nipple out of a tattoo. I think probably client choice.
I ask my clients, I talk to them about it.
I try to talk them into it, guilt-free though. I try not to make them feel bad if they don't want to do it, but I do.
I remind them it'll only be a couple minutes of horrible, and then I will baby them. Or sometimes I'll just like quickly break the skin if I'm not working with them. So I'll quickly break the skin with like a light wash of whatever color I'm using. And then I'll soak it with Bactine Max and just like saturate my paper towel and just like hold my hand on it for just like 20 seconds maybe, and just like slowly massage and work that Bactine into there, and then I come back in and saturate it.
I'll use Zensa.
I remember
too, and can plan ahead. Like while I'm working on someone, Zensa works pretty well for such a small little area like
if
that.
I've already got it out for the project, I'll use it. But
right, but to go and buy a $50 bottle of it.
I was terrified to get my nipple tattooed, not only because of the pain, but because my friend Jordan, he's got the crab arm from Thai. I don't know if you've seen that, but he has I forget who the two people are. I forget who the two people are who did a collab on his chest, but he's got like this Galaxy Nintendo controller on his chest. It's just like a chest panel, and his nipple actually split in two when they were tattooing it. Like one of the artists was just like put his hand down on it, like split, like while he was getting tattooed. Yeah, so I was terrified because I was like, my nipples have been pierced multiple times. Like they're already damaged anyway. Like Ty, like I'm not wanting my nipple to like get split in two. I actually thought about getting them removed before I started my torso, but that was a whole nother thing in itself.
Holy fuck!
You know, I've thought about that. Like
split nipple.
It just like split open.
What about nipple removal? Did you look into it, or you were just considering it?
I was considering it. It was just gonna kind of be too expensive for me to justify doing it, just because I'm afraid of my nipple splitting in two. Because I think it was gonna be like $1,200 to $1,500 to get them removed.
Okay.
And I mean, that's not terrible. It's considered a surgery or whatever, but that's like a whole tattoo session. And like part of a plane ticket, you know what I mean? So I was like, I might as well just not be a baby about it and just go ahead and go with it. If it splits in two, then
I've never heard of no one's nipple splitting in two. That's crazy. You ain't never had no nipple split in two, Paul?
Ain't never. I never.
I ain't never seen no nipple split in two.
I can't even imagine. I mean, it happening from the swelling, but like what I would do if that happened while I was working on somebody. Like I can only imagine like the hand and pressure and like I can imagine.
He said he didn't really feel it like split open. He said that just like the artist's face turned white and like he just put his hand like flat down on his nipple and just like stopped moving. And he's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Your nipple just split." So I was a little bit terrified of that happening. And like Ty kept making fun of me. He's like, "Look, dude, like so many people get their nipples done, and it's probably not gonna happen to you." So I was like, "Okay, whatever." So like I was
probably just pounding ink into a nipple that wasn't taking ink like he thought it was gonna or something.
I don't know.
Who did it? Who was the artist again? Who
he couldn't remember.
I think Acosta is one of the guy's last names.
Okay.
I think, and then I forget who the other one was. I would have to try to find. I can look up the.
I mean, if you're going like solid saturation in one session, I can see how it would happen. Oh, I just can't imagine. The heel.
I would pass out. I would
pass
out as soon as I found out my nipple split.
you
It
feel
was
like,
Andres Acosta and Aaron Springs.
I'm familiar with Andreas's work. How do
It's
you,
this tattoo, if you can see it.
let me see that nippy.
But still,
Oh, they turned the nipple into a ship. Maybe they were just too much. Or is it in the flame? I can't even tell where it is for sure.
It's actually at the bottom in that blue.
Oh, okay.
Very bottom.
Okay. Wow, man.
that's dope though. That's a dope piece.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is.
It doesn't look crazy now, though. I couldn't even find it.
Man. Splits.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you feel like your nipples healed fast? I feel like mine was healed like the next day.
Yeah, dude, mine was healed so fast. I don't even think it flaked. I don't even know.
Yeah, mine healed pretty fast too, I think. Like like he said, I don't think mine flaked or anything.
I was super nervous about how sore it was going to be and for how long. And I feel like I woke up the next day and it was less sore than all of the areas around it.
Yeah.
The memories,
my chest piece healed so quick. Nathan.
the way we walk down memory lane on this show, like to relive the worst parts of our life over and over. And over.
It's really because I don't really take the time to sit and think about it much during the day. And so when we sit here and take the time to think about it, I'm like, this is the time I sit and flash back to it. So it's like I keep getting like hit with
all these
hit with like these PTSD memories.
PTSD.
Like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. Sucked. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when I thought that was gonna be bad, and then it was worse.
Oh.
I'm gonna turn my fan on real quick, but I can still hear you guys.
I should talk about all the times
What's
that
that?
it really wasn't too bad.
We lost him.
I said I'm just gonna turn my fan on real quick.
Oh,
I'm
you
still
good?
here.
You
You're
good?
good.
But yeah, I definitely should talk more about the times it's not so bad, because I do tend to emphasize on when it sucks, because when it sucks, it sucks. It's almost like writing. It's like, or journaling. It's like, it's almost harder to journal when you're happy than when you're sad. You almost want to journal and stuff. Like when you're more sad and stuff, when you're happy, you disregard it. But
One of the nice things I liked about being in a position, A, where I could watch, and B, that it wasn't as painful as some of my other sessions, is when Russ and Tofi were working on me. I could actually, A, watch Russ, because it's not like I could watch him on any of my back. But I could watch Tofi too, and I could watch both sets of tricks that they were using. And I could actually like watch how Tofi just boldly and efficiently just packs color in as he goes. And it's almost like watching like an alla prima painter. Like he selects the color, he mixes it on the needle sometimes it's pre-mixed, but he just puts it in and moves on. And there are just a lot of little nuanced tricks that I could see like up close, feel them like while he was working on me. So I'm really thankful that session I was actually comfortable enough to learn.
yeah,
Like I could just like lay here and like watch two masters. Tofi's from Poland, so a rare opportunity to get to look over somebody like his shoulder. But I was really thankful that session, like I said, everybody was kind of nervous that I was going into it arrogantly, like I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I was just like, I've already had him and Ty work on my chest at the same time. This will be at least for 6 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I
actually forgot you had that collab with Tofi and Russ.
Do what?
I actually forgot you had that collab with Tofi and Russ. I completely forgot about that piece.
Let me see if I can find a picture of it real quick. I'll send it to Sandy because I talked about it a few times.
But yeah, your collections is definitely one of my favorites. Like you've got a bunch of like just really awesome work.
Thank you. It's definitely like early on I got to as soon as I started tattooing, I started hitting Hell City every year, and I hit the Motor City convention every year. Like those were my two go-to shows. Like A, I love Detroit, and B, I've always lived near Columbus.
Yeah.
So going to conventions of that caliber so early on gave me a real it set the bar really high is what it did. It set the standard of what a good tattoo is really, really high. Where in my hometown, there's like 7 or 8 other artists. So between 7 or 8 artists, we're all going to end up having the same styles, doing the same tricks, doing the same kind of things, because that's what our community is asking for.
Yeah.
Get into like the convention scene early and see like A, how approachable these artists are, and B, what's possible. I think that is what, you know, it allowed me to be so patient. Like I was saying earlier, I wanted to like save my body for people I wanted to learn from. And I think that Health City and Motor City are probably like the 2 most influential events. Like early, like as a tattooer and as a collector.
Yeah, I wish I would have gone to Motor City this past year. Like if I knew that COVID was going to hit and that was going to be my last chance to hit a convention, I definitely would have gone. But I was like, my car's pretty old and it's like 5 hours away.
Yeah. Man, I haven't even had a chance to go to Hell City yet.
You've never been to Hell City?
Haven't. No. This was going to be the year that, you know, did a bunch of Hell City shit. But no, I started working for Red Tree this last year, and that's when I've been turning on to all that, and just haven't had a chance to get out to Hell City. Been doing tons of other. I usually do most of the billing art circuits and all that before.
Like Hell City's really the only convention I've ever been to besides Fort Wayne, and like Hell City like set the bar pretty high for like conventions for me. Like there are some smaller ones that I might not go to just because I feel like they might not have as much going on. Because like a lot of times I would have to take time off work to go to these conventions because I used to work weekends.
There's my leg.
Hey,
nice.
Yeah, this was, you can see my back tattoo when we completed my back, the pinks actually match. So this flows like seamlessly into my back. And
how long was this session?
This was 9.5 hours with both of them. So, but they already had a design worked out ahead of time that they rendered together. Russ designed the like extrusion on the figure's forehead and chin. Like that's one like mandala that he designed, and then Tofi like extruded it from the face to a point that it felt interesting. But that was all like rendered in, what is it, ZBrush? The 3D. 3D.
Are they using ZBrush for 3D stuff?
Yep.
Because I mean, I know they were doing a lot with Photoshop as well.
No, this is the 3D.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it into Keyshot and like,
oh yeah,
makes it real and lights it. But it was really cool to see how like, if you look like in the shapes of the lips, Tofi would just like come in with a dollop of black and then immediately like a dollop of like light gray. And then immediately in with like a Bermuda blue, and then immediately in with a dark blue into a black. And it was just cool to see him build those textures as like an Alla Prima painter would. Like if you ever watch Nick Baxter paint a landscape where he like selects the right color, puts it in the place, and that's it. Tofi like that. And it's efficient. It's a little on the brutal side, like because he just gets it in there and moves on. But it's really cool to see how fast he works and how seamless everything comes together just by like boldly selecting the right color and putting it boldly where it needs to go and being done with it. Just a lot of really cool tricks that I'm super thankful that was an unpainful session for the majority of it so that I could really learn. And, you know, there were some things that he was doing that I already do, but seeing an artist of that caliber do them, it gave me permission to do that same thing, but even more boldly, you know, where I was like second guessing this trick that I figured out. Like, is this the way to do it? Will it hold? Will it heal? And then to see him doing it just more bold and more quickly, it gave me permission to just jump in and start working like that on my work all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely awesome, especially being able to see. I love that you were able to see that piece get done. Mm-hmm. Really wish I was able to see Guy do my back, but even like looking at the pictures of my back, it allowed, because it's on me. I don't know. It's almost easier for me to sit and break down the piece in my own head. I feel like I've learned so much just from seeing how he's
just
done
like
my
the
back
step
piece.
by step.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a pretty.
Even just the way light is hitting certain things and stuff that maybe I might not have seen in his paintings before. I was trying to figure it out now. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And I think because step by step. pretty cool piece though. The shadows are on point. They killed it.
Nice job, Tofi and Russ. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate you all. That was
Do you
one of
have any
the.
ideas on what you're gonna do with the rest of that leg?
So from the knee down, I'm going to keep that leg open so I can continue to collect small pieces like later on. I'm going to call it my sporadic leg. So it'll be just like sporadic smaller pieces. But I have Russ and I kicked around like maybe another architectural idea for the inside of that upper leg. But nothing real solid yet. I really like, I have solid ideas for my left arm. I've got a solid idea for my right arm. And then I at least, you know, I still definitely want Mike Cole to do my belly when, you know, the opportunities present themselves.
Yeah.
So my leg is really the only part that's not committed yet. So I'm kind of like dragging my feet. Like hypothetically, if Carrie Barba wanted to work on me someday and the universe allowed that to happen, like she could have any part or as much of that leg as she wanted, or all of it. Outside of that.
Yeah,
Like,
I kind of thought about doing what you were gonna do and like just keep like my right leg as like a leg for smaller pieces, like maybe portraits or something from like different artists that I like. But at the same time, I kind of want like just a whole like cohesive bodysuit.
mm-hmm.
It's just like all.
I love that my leg cohesively flows into my back, which now cohesively flows all into my like armpits and front chest. You know, it'll all cohesively pull into my sleeves when the time comes. I'm really like, for having several different artists work on me, I think they're all mindful enough of an overall vision, even though like I didn't specifically have that vision. Like when I would talk to him at consultations about like cohesion from one project to the next, like I'm thankful that like when Guy did my armpits, he's worked with Russ, he's worked with Adam, he's worked with Ty. So he's worked with all the artists who did the surrounding work. So
Yeah.
I was fortunate that like for Guy to do my armpits, it was probably, I mean, I would imagine it was probably pretty easy for him to imagine what these other artists were achieving and kind of complete and connect with their visions that were already there.
Yeah.
So even though it's several artists, I want it to all look like one collaborative piece, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You imagine your collection all coming together like cohesive like that?
Oh, well, it will in the end, for sure. I'm still trying to figure out who I want to do my legs, though. I definitely want some stuff done by Jesse Levitt.
Sure. He's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. Oh, man.
One of these days
I
I'll
even
have clean shave and show off my head tabby from him.
I even thought about having Ty and Jesse do a collab on my left leg, but like I don't know if I want it to be black and gray or in color. So like if it was like color, I would obviously just go to Ty, but if it's black and gray, I would maybe like consider that collab. Where's he at now? Is he still like on the East Coast?
I feel like for some reason he's in Colorado, but I could be wrong.
Well, that's where he used to be. He moved to New York, and then I thought he might have went to like Vermont or something like that.
I'm not sure.
He opened a new studio because I actually got my second session on my sleeve in his old studio, Old Larimer in Denver.
Okay.
That's where I got my second session done at, but unfortunately he wasn't there like that weekend, so I didn't get to meet him.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still. I was a little intimidated to like meet him and talk to him, and then like once we like chilled for 35 seconds, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is. It's so funny, like when you have expectations of somebody to be something other than like a person, and then they're like a person, and it's like, oh, I'm so relieved that you're a person.
Usually
fun.
seems to be the case.
It's fun. There are some cool things. I think one of the cooler things that I learned from my session with Jesse was, so I happened to be the first head tattoo that he ever done. The first head tattoo he had ever done.
There you go.
There we go. That sounded right. So I know the night before he and Guy were talking a little bit and kind of playing around with some like layouts and just different ideas together. But it was really cool to be like so close to him that I could hear him like talking under his breath a little bit. So like there are just moments, like for instance, sometimes as an artist, I'll do it. You probably do it too. You jump into a project, you get a few hours in, and it's like, man, this looks like garbage. This doesn't even look like my work. This is never gonna look right. This is gonna be awful. And then like you have faith and you keep working and you come in with the next layer, and it's like, oh, well, there it is.
You gotta follow
there
through.
There it is.
You gotta finish your projects. You gotta take them to the end.
You
gotta understand it's gonna be chaos before it becomes like a nice image.
I was under the impression
that every time I paint, anytime I do anything, and that's also how I tattoo. It's almost I refine near the end.
I was under the impression I was the only artist who felt that way. That like my work is garbage, my work is garbage, my work is garbage. Right up until like the last 10% of the session where everything just like comes to life and all the magic tricks that I've been like working and building the whole session just like fall into place. And
it's like, about it, it's like imagine looking at a building as just what the foundation is, and see that foundation, and it's just that. Like it's you put the foundation down, you got to do all that, and it kind of looks like shit, but then you build everything else around that. And if it's got that sturdy ass foundation, that piece is gonna look good. I'm doing all that chaotic shit that like you might not feel the best about, but you got to know those tertiary details and all that other stuff comes in near the end. You can't put tertiary shit in there before you've done anything secondary.
It definitely just made me, it kind of allowed me to like catch my breath and be okay with being dissatisfied with my work halfway through, instead of like kicking myself and like praying. And
that's a big learning. That's like, a big learning curve you hit when you
like it's just this will be what it's going to be when it's time to be what it is, and have faith and don't second guess yourself halfway through.
It's a good lesson in life.
Yeah, just do it and have faith that it's going to be its thing.
Have faith it's going to follow through, but do the work it takes to follow through.
All right.
With anything.
So I noticed Jay's yawning on us. He's getting tired.
Yeah, well, I only slept like 3 or 4 hours. I work night shift right now.
Well, we've been going for like an hour and 40 minutes.
We've been going for a little while. We
usually shoot for 2 hours.
Go until we fizzle out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to go for as long as you want to go. I'm just gonna go back to bed right after this anyway. So
Perfect.
Well, sweet. As long as you're still feeling chill, man. We're enjoying hanging out.
Yeah, we could wrap up in 20 minutes, or we could wrap up in 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd say another like 10, 20 minutes. We'll probably wrap up. I think that's probably good for us.
Yeah.
Keep it solid.
Short. Keep it solid.
2 hours, just a 2 hour thing today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I think over the next few weeks, I've been brainstorming about some different ideas that we can do with like future episodes. And I was thinking like every so often we could have like a topic and then a panel of collectors. If we were to do like a panel of collectors, would you be a regular on a panel?
Yeah. I just don't know like entirely what my work schedule is going to be like.
Yeah, this is kicking around ideas.
We could ask you. We would ask you way ahead of time, and then be like, if you had the day, we maybe be done. With no pressure or anything.
I'd be down too if you guys would be down to have those other guys that I run that tattoo page with. I don't know if you know it. We call it Bio Boys. There's Forrest that we just talked about, and then there's the Renda brothers, Tim and Jimmy.
You know what we could do?
I want to get all the bio people on here.
What if we just did a Bio Boys show and had all of you on together?
Yeah, that would work.
Then we could because Jordan and I have tried to define what bio is, and it's so hard because it's so odd.
Everyone you ask is going to have a different definition, and that's the fucking best part about it.
Yeah.
And everyone that looks at something is going to say something different than the other person.
Is it the 4 of you that run that page?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should plan maybe either like the last week of this month or sometime soon. Maybe we'll just have a whole bio day. We could see if we could get a few other people to beam in and talk bio with us. But it could just be the Bio Boys show, and we'll pump you guys.
Let us know if a Thursday works sometime, man.
Yeah, I know that. Let me look and see what my schedule is right now. I know for this month at least, I think Thursday, yeah, I work at 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. this month.
It's okay. We'll
cool.
work it out. We'll work it out on a convenient, whenever, you know.
Oh yeah, like if do you guys only go live at noon, or can you do different times a day?
So here's the thing. Right now.
Okay.
So right now we're only going live at noon on Thursdays, but we've got brand new equipment, and as soon as Jordan and I get the hang of it, I would love to go live in addition to that, maybe once a week or once every other week.
We'll have pretty soon here. We'll be having everything on like Spotify and all the different podcasting things, and we'll be putting out multiple podcasts at different times of the day, I'm sure.
And
whenever we kind of feel like it. Right now it's live because we kind of got this time slot with reinventing. So we're running things through this, and we'll still be doing that. We'll still be keeping this up, but then we'll have opportunity to do extra ones and throw them on at different times. Because I think for us to just like save some random time during the day, right now we wouldn't have like Sandy's help or Gabe's help or anything.
Yep. But yeah, our goal is to continue doing this weekly, and then having, whether we do like pre-recorded shows where everybody zooms in with us until we can get together for real. But like in addition to, so like I said, we could just have the whole theme be bio, and we could just have like a bio party.
Yeah.
Like welcome
that'd be awesome.
We'll show up. We'll show up. We'll have like photos of our collections prepared, and we can start talking about like the different genres and what it's like to travel, and like just have those bio.
Everyone
talks.
Get their coolest bio stuff. If you got a cool bio painting, if you got a cool bio thing to show off.
This might
cool
be
bio
something
pictures you
we
could send us, and we could bring them through during the podcast. And I could also do some stuff like that here because we'll have the cameras, and so we can go over cool little bio stuff that we have, and just like have an explanation of bio day.
We could also talk about making this a special event with reinventing, and maybe doing an evening slot where more people will be able to tune in.
That would be awesome. I would.
Maybe that would be even
appreciate
better.
that. I just don't want to.
We're going to brainstorm.
I just don't want to put the extra workload on anybody.
We're going to talk about weird alien bio for everybody. We're going to have an event coming up where we talk weird alien bio.
That's weird.
Because I'd love to have the listeners
that's what this
tune
is
in.
Actually for.
What, talk alien bio all day?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool too to have an all bio show, just because like I don't think a lot of people realize that there are a lot of different like genres just within bio. Like mine is like more organic, where like someone else's might be like more alien looking, or like.
And then you could say the more alien look. There's like 100 different kinds of alien looking ones.
Yeah.
From there,
I've just always felt like mine looks more like things from like this world, like rocks or like seashells, like stuff like that, where like other like Kurt's stuff, for instance, like I just looked over there because I've got prints from Kurt on my wall, but like his stuff to me just looks a lot more like outwardly, like Guy's does too.
Yeah.
Like Ty's work is from this realm, where their work is from another realm.
Yeah, kind of.
I feel it.
I dig that.
I like mixing the realms, smashing them together.
They always smush together.
All right, man. Well, I feel like it was a slacker. I didn't read many of our comments from before Christmas because I've had so much going on. Did you?
Our comments from before Christmas.
Have we had any questions?
From the Instagram?
Yeah, from any of our platforms.
I mean, not any particulars that I can remember right now. I mean, I've checked comments and stuff when they were coming up, but nothing that I can remember right now. If we sat and go through, we would definitely have plenty if you want to check. Sure.
We're gonna try and be better at like.
Yeah, we've literally just been on vacation.
Yeah.
I've been on vacation. I'm just getting back from Vegas.
Yeah, Jordan's been on vacation. I've been working.
So
I think I saw that on your Instagram. You're out in the desert.
Yeah. Had fun out there.
Hanging out with Queen Blunts. I got to admit, the first time I met her, I was like, what do you, or when I realized what her Instagram handle was, I was like, what do you mean you're Queen Blunts? And then I realized, like, okay, you got me beat. I will be the blunt princess. That's fine.
That's what Devin said too.
Mine are like this big, and hers are like this big. That's when it comes to blunts, apparently size matters.
Mhm.
But anyway,
She got my heart. She got my heart.
well, Sandy, do you have any questions or any more comments for any listeners in the inter community?
There hasn't been any more comments. I figured I'd just read off a couple of the events that are coming up on the Reinventing app if I can.
Excellent.
Just in case people are loving this, and because there was lots of positive feedback. So just if everybody's wanting to do some more checking stuff out. If you go to the Reinventing the Tattoo app, you can download that now on Apple and Google. And for the next couple days we got coming up, we've got on Sunday, there's going to be a Reinventing drawing group with a member called Jason Leeser at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All of our times are in Eastern Standard Time. On Monday morning, Jake Meeks from Fireside Tattoo, he's going to be doing a drawing group as well. That's 9 a.m. On Monday. And then there's this pretty exciting building a Paul Rogers style prefab tattoo machine with Tony Urbanek. So that one does need registration. You can go to the app and it'll give you the info and registration, and you get to, over 6 weeks, make your own tattoo machine. And I believe you're able to do that without even needing to weld anything. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
And then any of the people that speak Spanish, because there was quite a few people from Spanish speaking countries that were watching today. There is going to be an art jam with Bruno Salvatierra, and I think he has, I can't remember who's coming with him, but there's 5 other artists. So it'll be Spanish speaking art jam, which hasn't happened yet. And that's going to be happening on the 12th at 9 p.m.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's excellent. It's really cool to know that we've got so many international followers, like just not just us, but like the Reinventing platform. It's really cool how quickly this has grown and is growing.
And to be able to have content for them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing. Like in its infancy, it's doing so well. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
It's cool to have you guys part of it. So it's so fun to get to come and listen to this while I'm hanging out with you guys. So it was just a very interesting one, and I related to a lot of the stuff you were talking about. I definitely also sold my car to get my sleeve from Guy, which was definitely, it was I agreed to my sleeve and then was like, okay, so I need money. I have a car. I don't need a car. So I feel you.
Right. Well, we're so appreciative of you, Sandy. Definitely help us out a lot with all this.
Oh, you guys are rocking it.
We're trying. Once we get the hang of this new equipment, wait till you see the quality we're capable of. We just it's the learning curve, Sandy.
Oh my goodness, I feel you. Technology.
With frustrated thing. I just got brand new cameras and they were all very expensive. So ready to across the room as hard as I could that I just had to sit down and not technology.
Yeah.
I had to just like sit down. I was like, I gotta stop. I'm really frustrated right now.
Technology demons are up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've got amazing advancements, and we will be able to start sharing many more like pictures of what we're talking about with you. And we've got 3 professional cameras that we'll be bouncing between in the studio, and we'll be able to actually like line in our good quality audio that we've been working on figuring out. So like now we're to hurdle 2.
Multiple angles.
Awesome.
Screenshots.
It's already so enjoyable. I can't wait to see it get more and more easy on you guys technology wise as well, because that's always makes it even easier to just chill and have a fun podcast.
Better and better each time. Right, this one's I feel like this one was a step backwards a little bit because we're on this today. We were expecting the other cameras, but next time
we'll have it figured out before the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the last one that will be like this, all together.
We'll have our own camera angle soon. It'll be nice.
Sweet.
Sweet. Awesome. Fawn, you want to let everyone know our tattoo collecting handles?
Yeah, first of all, Jay, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you. I love hanging out with you and talking with you every time we see each other. And I would love any excuse to have you on here, whenever you're available.
Okay.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah, it was nice to meet you, and it was good to talk to you again, Fawn. Like I think it's been almost 2 years since we've seen each other. I think it was Hell City last time.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been too long. Do you want to throw your Instagram handle out first, and then we'll take our turns?
Yeah, it's Jay Grimmy. It's kind of a weird name, but
that's him.
Look at bam.
And then what's the other one we were talking about? The Bio Boys?
Bio Boys. It's just we share like our favorite. It's not just bio tattoos. It's like any kind of like tattoos or paintings, sculptures that we're just into.
Weird.
Like we all have diverse like taste and everything. So that's why I really like that page too, because it kind of showcases.
Excellent. I didn't know running that, so I'm glad that I learned that you were running that page today.
I think I follow that page. Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think it would be really fun to have a panel of all of you guys on. We'll make that happen. Maybe we'll make it in the evening, what schedules permit, but we'll get on that when we're off air.
Okay.
My Instagram is fawn_baker. And you can find us collectively. I'll let Jordan go next, but you can find us collectively at Tattoo Collecting 101 on Instagram or tattoocollecting.com. And that'll give you a link to all of our videos, as well as a link right back to reinventing the tattoo. So you can check out all of the new features and other events that are going on all the time. So tattoocollecting.com will get you everywhere.
Right. So
what's your info?
Trying to find any video, check that out there. So my tattoo, if you want to reach me for a tattoo, you can check out my portfolio at Jordan Ruckus Tattoo on Instagram. Email jordanruckustattoo@gmail.com. That's going to be the best way to contact me for a tattoo. And that's it. I mean, the other thing I would be saying is Tattoo Collecting. Check it out there, because that's where you'll find all these videos.
If you haven't added the Reinventing app yet and you're listening to us, add the Reinventing app, because that's the best way to get like the whole lineup of events, and it's really easy to navigate.
Yeah,
it doesn't cost anything. It's great. Have you logged on to that yet, Jay?
No, because I actually thought it was for like artists only.
No,
so I haven't like downloaded it yet.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people know that there's like content for collectors galore on there too. So
yeah, I'll download it before I go to bed.
Yeah, it's a cool app, and there's like a whole forum and community, so you can communicate with one another. There's like chat rooms whenever there's an event going on, so you can like live chat with other people that are watching the event. So it's really cool. Yeah, I think that's it. Check out Reinventing if you haven't. It's gonna be fun. There's always other tattoo nerds on there, even if nothing else. Like when you've scrolled through Instagram twice and you're back at the top for the third time, jump over to Reinventing.
Okay.
But all right, guys. Well, until next week, we're going to have rad content. We're going to have so much better sound and video quality. We can't wait to share with you. We love you. See you next week. It's going to be a
fun week next week. So tune in, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yep, see you, Jay.
Thank you so much, Jay.